Alright guys, so we got a couple quick wins at this very low rank. It's hard to say, like, you know what I mean? Some of those decks weren't very archetype specific, although they albeit interesting. But I promise you that this deck works pretty well against a lot of the top uh, archetypes in the format. Works pretty well against Hunter. Okay, here's the Hunter. So let's see how that turns out. So we got Powered Shield, Dark Cultist, Zombie Chow. Cool. Cool. This is a pretty good opening hand. Maybe we'd want to throw back one more Dark Cultist and try to get, you know, like an Undertaker. But it's fine. We're good. Alright, so he played nothing turn 1. That means we are going to go with a turn 2 Dark Cultist. Or possibly turn 2 Northshire trade heal. So since he went for the face, I'm going to go ahead and go with turn 2 Dark Cultist. So there we go. Dark Cultist. This is a huge drop, man. 3/4 for 3 mana. So especially having him when your opponent has to be retroactive on turn 3, that's big. That's big. It's possible to also play Injured Blade Master at 3, but I just feel like Shade of Naxxramas is better. But I could be wrong. Yeah. Okay, this is turn 3, so it's going to be turn 4 next turn. And our opponent, him not playing cards tells me that he's sitting on, what the fuck is that thing called? A big Unleash the Hounds. Okay, so instead of playing another card, and like ideally what I want to do is I want to play the Shade here. And then next turn I want to Power Word Shield it and drop a 3-drop. But then that would mean on his 5th turn, I'll have 3 or 4 creatures on the board. I don't want to be in that situation, because I don't want to let him have a huge... you know what, fuck it. I don't want to let him have a huge Unleash the Hounds, Starving Buzzard opportunity. So keeping it at 2 and then just healing myself and trading, or like, you know, keeping the board clearing while he takes 5, that does work in my favor. But, you know, we'll see. I guess this way at least we bait out Hunter's Marks. So, Deadly Shot. Okay, well that's good. So he played to our advantage there. That's what we want. So now I'm not, you know, I don't want to press my luck and put a 3rd one out. So we'll just keep it at 2 guys while he has 5 mana. Let's see if he gets desperate. Oh, Stampede and Code. Oh, that's... yeah, that hurts. It's okay. Now we get a 4/6.
The damned stand ready.
Like, these bodies just out-body anything he has, so we're good. And we know he can't heal, so even if he trades here and then tries to use hero power or whatever, or use like some kind of skills to kill it, we're still getting 2 for 1. And our guy's going to come through for whatever amount of damage he's already come through for. And see, the good thing here too is like these are 3-drops. So if they kill a 5-drop, they've traded up. That's value. You want that value. So, that's a good taunt. That is. Yeah. I don't know what I feel so far about this. This is a difficult position to be in.
I must consider.
We're gonna attack first. Just okay. So it's not Freezing Trap. So it's Explosive Trap, and it's not Snake Trap, and it's definitely not Snipe. We'll trade here. I'll just heal it up. Cool. Now we could have used that. There's a chance it could be a misdirection, but I highly doubt it. So we're in a good position here. We have a formidable threat on board that he needs to deal with. So here's Unleash the Hounds. Oh no. There's the Unleash. Oh. Unleash, Hunter's Mark, get a big guy here. Right. No, okay. Well, could be both traps. Yeah, I want the card. Do I want the card? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I use the Holy Nova now, I'll heal.
Right away.
Let's see if it's explosive trap. There's one explosive trap. And there's freezing trap. Okay, no, that's not freezing trap. Okay, maybe that's snake trap. We don't want to give him 3 cards, so we'll do this. Get ourselves a couple cards. So now he's in a lot of trouble. That's most likely snake trap. I mean, right there, you just gotta think about risk versus reward. Like, what are you gonna play around?
Well played.
Okay.
Well played.
I'm gonna burn a card here. Oh no! Oh wow, we got great.
Your magic shall not.
Oh shit! We could have just killed him. It's okay. Just play it safe. There's no need to overdo the board because we won already. So that was a miss lethal though. We should have just holy fired him. Huh. So right after this, we'll take a look at this side. I mean, there's 9 cards. Oh, 12. Oh, did we loot? Okay. I was checking. I mean, who knows? So. Yep. That's good. So, pretty fun deck. So how far are we? How far are we right now from our goal? 481. So we're 19 games away. We can achieve that. So, anyways, let's take a look at what is that called? The deck, real quick. I'll give you a quick breakdown of what you're looking at. 2 Power Word Shield, 2 Northshire Clerics, 2 Undertakers, 2 Zombie Chow, 2 Loot Hoarder, 2 Shadow Word Death, 2 Thought Steal, 2 Dark Cultist, 2 Shade of Nax, 1 Shadow Madness, 1 Spellbreaker, 2 Novas, 1 Lothep, 2 Sludge Belchers, 1 Holy Fire, 1 Cabal, 1 Sylvanas, 1 Black Knight, 1 Kel'Thuzad. So this is a really temple-based list. There are possible changes that you could make here. Shade of Naxxramas is not a must-have. It's just been great for me. There are a few cards you could play. Harvest Golem, Injured Blade Master, although I wouldn't run it unless you ran Circle of Healing. Or you could run a 2-drop like Haunted Creeper. Haunted Creeper is kind of good because it almost guarantees that on turn 3, when you drop your Dark Cultist, if they trade off the Dark Cultist, you have stuff to buff. And it's just another 2-drop, which the deck sorely lacks. But I prefer the Shade. Shadow Madness doesn't have to be in here. You could go with the 4-drop, which is like Baron Rivendare. A lot of people, Zedalot does that. He goes with Baron Rivendare, and then he has Circle of Healing and Alkanai Soul Priest, which is another option at 4. I don't like it. You could put a Defender of Argus, and there's a pretty big argument for that. I mean, that's not too bad of a option. Or you can run Cho and Yeti. Alkanai Soul Priest is obviously an option. Cho and Yeti, right? Spellbreaker, like I said, same thing as Shadow Madness. At the 4-drop spot, there's a lot of flexibility there. You know, you can change it to fit your meta. I run one of each because I feel like Shadow Madness gets a lot of value in the current game today A lot of people play things with death rattle effects, so you can really kind of abuse that. You saw that a little bit in some of the games earlier. Spellbreaker, for the same thing, you kind of want to silence death rattle or crazy abilities. This puts them down. Lothab, I don't think you can change. Sludge Belcher, I don't think you can change. One Holy Fire. A lot of these new minion-based priest decks do not run Holy Fire, but I'm telling you that it gives you reach and it gives you 5 health. This is a big thing in a lot of matchups. I personally, only want to ever see it once, but most of the time I'm begging that I top deck this card. It's a little clunky, so I think 1 is where you want to be, if any at all. 1 Cabal Shadow Priest. Instead of Holy Fire, a lot of people run a second copy of this. I just choose to have this because I already have Shadow Madness. There's only so much that I want to steal when it's turn 6 in the game. Like if I haven't already controlled the board, then I'm behind. And stealing 1 minion is not going to do that for me. Although this is a very, very good card. Sylvanas, goes without saying. Black Knight, a tempo-based play. You could probably play Cairn here, or something else with Death Rattle. What do we got? This game has got Death Rattle. Yeah. Fugin? Maybe Fugin. I don't know about Fugin and Stalag. Personally don't like those. Cairn's probably the best thing. Yeah, and Kel'Thuzad. I run Kel'Thuzad, but I could definitely see an argument for running something like Ragnaros, maybe even Ysera. I just think Kel'Thuzad, you just get a lot of value. Especially when you just like send Dark Cultists into a bunch of mid, buffer mobs, and then you start buffing up your Kel'Thuzad or whatever. You can get out of control really quickly. For the early game, I don't think any of this is substitutable. You need 2 Power Word Shields, you need 2 North Chow Clerics, you need the Undertakers, you need the Zombie Chows. Well, maybe Zombie Chow is something you don't necessarily need. I could see something like Smite, Holy Smite. I don't know what else I would drop there. I kind of feel like I like having a minion early. It's a much better opening than using Smite to be reactionary. I like to be proactive. I think this is the best way to go about that. Loot Hoarder, I think you just have no other option at the 2-drop spot. It has Death Rattle, it cantrips. So you kind of need that. Shadow Word Death, I've always run 2 because I feel like it gives you killer value. Running 1 Shadow Word Pain, I could see a definite argument for doing that, but I just feel like at the beginning of the match, I should be able to fight for control very easily. But I could see running it, like, stealing a Death Lord, those things might be nice, right? Or killing a Death Lord right off the bat. 2 Thought Steals. Let's talk about Dark Cultist, right? Dark Cultist is great. There should be no argument here. 3 for 3/4, so 7 worth of stats for 3 mana. Nothing else gives that value. Nothing else in the game gives that value. So this is the best card. Okay? At 3-drop. Thought Steal. Now, if you've watched my Priest videos in the past, you've seen that if I know I'm going to face a lot of aggressive decks, I'll side in another 3-drop, like Earthen Ring Farseer or Harvest Golem. Something that's good against aggro. Death Lord, maybe. And if I fight slower decks, then I'll bring in Thought Steal. Now, I'm typically foregoing that kind of thinking and just putting Thought Steal in. Now, the problem with Thought Steal is very inconsistent. If you go challenge Rogue, you challenge some classes, maybe you get Deadly Poison, maybe you get Shield Block, things that don't necessarily help you. But I think those arguments are few and far between. What Thought Steal adds is ammo to your hand. And typically, especially in battles that are very close, you just need more cards to play. Because when you get to the point where it reaches fatigue and you're holding 4 cards in your hand and your opponent is holding 6, having 2 other cards makes a huge difference. And because of that simple issue, I feel running Thought Steal is very important. You'll find that drawing with this deck is usually not a big deal, but it can get kind of weird. Because, a lot of outside of Power Word Shield and Loot Hoarder, your draw is very reliant on healing with Northshire Cleric on the board. And Thought Steal is just a good way to amplify that draw, kind of augment and complement it in a way. So that's the deck in general. Like I said, a lot of these cards, these are flex. You can change these. Maybe Karen. Maybe you like Karen here. Maybe you like Rag here. And the only reason I don't like Rag here is because 8/8 is more vulnerable than 6/8. Okay, it dies to more things, dies to big game hunter, you know, whatever. So that's the only reason I don't run Rag here. And I just think like Kel'Thuzad, like Rag is an ender. He finishes the game, but Kel'Thuzad is like he'll snowball. Like his situation, like you're probably already winning, but he guarantees the win. People say it's win more, but I don't like that phrase because, you know, playing Kel'Thuzad is kind of like insurance that your opponent can't get back. You know, and I think it's very underrated. Good card. I like him. Um, Black Knight is also good, and I just find like there's always a target. You know, you challenge a hunter, maybe they'll have a taunt with the Houndmaster up. You challenge, you know, Sludge Belcher is being played a lot, so you're gonna have a lot of places to use the card. There's value. I could see Cairn here. The only reason why I don't put Cairn is because if they steal my Cairn, like if they faceless it or whatnot, I don't have to use Spellbreaker to silence Cairn and then deal with the 4/5. Or not silence it and deal with 2 4/5s. So I'd rather just deal with 1 4/5. And at least with the Black Knight, if I'm going to play him, I know I'm going to get full value. He's going to kill something. So at least he's already going to get a card. So that's my reasoning behind Black Knight. But, you know, if the meta changes, you know, I don't see a lot of taunts, then yeah, definitely, you know, maybe you cut him and you play something else. But yeah, that's the deck in general. Slightly different from Brian Kibler's list, which I think is a great list, right? But yeah, enjoy, play, and I hope you guys get those golden portraits.